Right. So these scholars of Telugu, the eight scholars which got patronage in his court, were called Ashtadiggaj. Krishnadev Rai himself was a great scholar, and he wrote a play, Sanskrit play called Jambavati Kalyanam. He brought Balkrishna idol from Udaygiri and built Krishna Swami temple. He built many other temples as well. He built Hazara temple and Vitthal Swami temples. Vijayanagar's empire had the largest of its area under his rule, and it is regarded that it had six provinces under his rule. After him, the notable king that we have from uh, Tuluva dynasty itself was Achyut Rai. Now, Achyut Rai had written two books himself. He ruled from 1529 to 1542. The Sanskrit books he wrote were Achyuta Bhyudayam and Varadamam Bika Pranyam. Okay, and these two books describe his life and his rule in detail. He brought Thiruvir Vengalantha temple in Vijayanagar Empire in his rule. After Achyut Rai, uh, there were for 1 year, there was for 6 months, there was one king, but he was killed. So after that, Sadashiv Rai was made king from 1542, but Sadashiv Rai was a puppet king. He ruled for quite a good time from 1542 to 1570, but he was a puppet king, and the real king was Ram Rai, his army chief. Now, Ram Rai's strategy was to play the Deccan Sultanates against each other by first allying with one Sultanate state like Berar, or the next time allying with Bidar, and then by that defeating the other Bahmani states. He also devised a strategy to employ Muslims in his army on a larger scale and also give them many posts. Now, under him, the Muslim states of former Bahmani Empire had insulting defeats, but it also proved destructive, because to avenge these defeats, at the end, all the five states of Golconda, Barar, Bidar, Ahmednagar, and Bijapur made a union and fought with Vijayanagar near Rakshasi and Tangri villages. Now, the war was fought on 25th January 1565, and Vijayanagar was defeated under Ram Rai's leadership. Ram Rai was killed in this war, and Vijayanagar was looted and plundered. It was burnt heavily. Hampi was completely burnt, and it was a complete destruction of Vijayanagar by all the five states of Bahmani Empire. Now, after the Tuluva dynasty ended, there was Aravidu dynasty which ruled Vijayanagar, but Aravidu dynasty was ruled at a ruled a very smaller area of Vijayanagar Empire, and none of these kings were important ones. Now, for under Vijayanagar administration, we have many important officers that we need to remember. The officers are Nayak. Now, Nayak was the governor of provinces. The highest number of provinces were six under Krishnadev Rai's rule, and Nayak were called the governor of provinces. The next were Palegar. These Palaigar were the soldiers who were awarded Jagirs. Now, they were given a very big tract of land, some villages, and uh, they served for those villages to the king. One officer was Dan Nayak. Dan Nayak was the army chief, so he was the head of all the army. The other one was Iyengar. Iyengar were the officers out of hereditary. They were the officers out of succession. So the son of Iyengar would be an Iyengar, very important officer to the king. Next officer that we see is Pradhani. These were important state officers, and they did many state works as given by the king. Then come Mahanayakacharya. Mahanayakacharya were the ones who invigilated the proceedings of Gram Sabha. So to administer the villages, Vijayanagar Empire had Gram Sabha, and Mahanayakacharya were the ones who invigilated and reviewed the proceedings of Gram Sabha. Then came Amarnayak. Amarnayaks were the feudal class, the Samant class of the king, who gave military services to the king in time of war or in time of rebellion. There were Raisam, who were secretaries of king. Then there were Karanisam. These were the chief account officers of the state. There were Maneya Pradhan. Maneya Pradhan was home minister of the state. Sthanik. Now, Vijayanagar Empire also had an officer to administer temples in the state. So the administrator of temples was called a Sthanik. There was Mudradhikari. This was an officer who had the who had royal coins and the royal money. Then there was Senaota. Senaota was accounts officer of the village. So Karanisam was chief account officer of the estate, and Senaota was account officer of the village. Then there was Paryutyagar. He was the local representative of the king, who also worked as tax collector. Paryutyagar. The state was divided into many prants or provinces, you may say. There were 6 provinces at highest, and governor of provinces were called Nayaks. These prant were divided into mandals. Now there are few historians who also believe that mandals were greater than prants, but most of them believe that mandals were smaller than them. So prants were divided into mandals. Mandals were then divided into Kottam or Valnadu. Kottam or Valnadu were the districts. Kottam or Valnadu were divided into Nadu. Nadu was divided into Melagram. Melagram was a group of 50 villages, and Melagram was divided into Gram. Gram or Ur. Gram or Ur was the smallest unit of Vijayanagar Empire, which meant one village. Now there were also some village groups which were called Sthal or Sima. Now the Vijayanagar Empire, this is all in brief about the administration and the consolidation of Vijayanagar Empire. Vijayanagar Empire ended on in 1670 gradually, because there were 1649 ended on 1649 due to weaker Arabidu kings. But if we talk about the strength of it, and if we talk about the glory of it, it ended in 1565 itself, when the Battle of Talikota, as it is famously called, or the Battle of Rakshasi and Tangri villages was fought between the Vijayanagar Empire that we have, and the the 5 states of Bahmani Sultanate. These 5 states were Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Berar, Bidar, and Golconda. Now these 5 states formed a union against Vijayanagar Empire, and they fought nearby Rakshasi and Tangri villages. There Vijayanagar Empire had a decisive defeat, and it was all burnt. A very big population was massacred, and it could never rise back to the same glory, and it was left as a very smaller state. So that's it today for Vijayanagar Empire. We will discuss more about Indian history and other dynasties later on. Thank you.